Hey everybody, my name's Ben and welcome back to another Beard Guys Tips video. Big thank you to PUBG Corp for sponsoring this video, in which I have put together my top 10 tips to keep you alive for longer on the battlefield in PUBG on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I've clocked up over 6,000 games of PUBG and over 500 wins, and I've used my experience to put together a list of tips that I think will help beginners in PUBG improve their survival game. There are many different skills to master in PUBG, but today we are going to focus on tips that will help keep you alive for longer and move you closer to that sweet, sweet chicken dinner. These tips are focused around helping out new players to the game, and if you have any questions about PUBG on console, then feel free to jump onto one of our daily PUBG live streams over on twitch.tv/thebeardguys. So let's get stuck into the tips. Number 1. Switching seats in vehicles. When you are pulling up in a combat situation in a vehicle, try and use the change seat button to ensure that you get out of the vehicle on the side that offers the most cover. It's a simple trick, but it can save your life by giving you the whole of the vehicle to use to take cover from enemy fire, or offering you a safer route into other areas of hard cover rather than just leaping out into a predictable spot with zero cover from enemy fire. Number 2. Pre-aim and pre-fire. When I say pre-aim and pre-fire, what I mean is to already be aiming in a spot where you think the enemy is going to be, and then to also be firing before you even see the enemy in your crosshairs. By anticipating situations like this, you can really give yourself a much better chance of survival. It's a key way to overcome the odds when you're on low health, have no armor, or up against a gun that can kill people quicker than yours can. Try and predict where your enemy is going to be and start aiming and firing at where you think they'll be before you can even see them. A lot of players make very predictable movements and peaks, and you can anticipate this and begin to fire your gun early. If you time it just right, you can take them down before they even have time to react. Pre-firing is a hugely useful skill to learn in this game. It won't always work, but it doesn't add much extra risk to try it. If you're pushing around a corner where you expect there to be an enemy, start firing as you go around the corner, aiming where you think they'll be. Even if they're not there, it's not really harmed you too much. If you're playing TPP, then you can often see where they are going to be before you expose yourself anyway. But even if you can't, don't let that deter you from going with your instincts and opening fire on the likely spots they'll be. Just keep an eye on your ammo so you don't force yourself to reload in a dangerous spot. Pre-firing is one of the best ways of taking down enemies whilst taking minimal damage. Number 3. Take sensible routes to the zone. When you are moving from location to location to reach the safe zone, think about the route you are taking. Pushing through open terrain can leave you in a difficult situation if you come under sniper fire and have nowhere to take cover. Using commonly used routes such as main roads or bridges can also lead to danger. You're much more likely to encounter players here, and these are especially dangerous in duos and squads mode, as it's much easier for several players to destroy your vehicle or kill you before you have time to react. If you're forced to cross a major choke point like one of the military island bridges, play it safe by looking for a boat or swim if you have time. If you do have to drive over, try and wait for someone else to drive past first and then use them as a decoy and follow them across. Just be wary of them shooting you from the passenger seats. Number 4. Don't run in straight lines, don't drive in straight lines. It's a good habit to try not to run in straight lines or drive in straight lines as much as possible, especially when you are under fire. As soon as you come under fire, if you're not able to immediately get into cover or choose to fire straight back, get your best wiggle on. Erratic movements, changes of direction, dead stops, then starting again, these are all tools of survival that can make even a good shooter struggle to drop you. If you just run in a straight line, go prone, or start jumping, they are likely to drop you a lot more quickly. The same applies for vehicles. Don't underestimate how far some people can land a headshot from. It takes just one lucky shot to drop you, so don't make it easy for them. Number 5. Good movement can beat superior shooting skills. You don't have to be better with guns or frags to beat someone in a fight. Good movement can overcome superior shooting skills. When you get into a fight, try and figure out what cover you can use, what cover your enemy can use, who is going to get pushed by the circle first, and if there are any other players around that might get involved. If you can, move yourself to better cover, take the high ground, or drop out of your enemy's line of sight and rotate round to a new position to take them by surprise. You can swing the odds in your favor by not staying static and allowing them easy shots. Don't sit still and just shoot back and forth with the enemy unless you feel confident you can outshoot them like this, or you feel you have no other options. Number 6. Try to anticipate frag grenades. I get a huge amount of kills with frags, and they can be tough to avoid at times, but you should always try and be alert to them coming at you. You can throw them up to 100 meters or so at times, even on fairly flat ground, and when throwing downhill, you can throw them even further. So anytime you get into a fight, be ready for that frag coming in. If you have the chance, try and keep changing between pieces of cover to make it harder for them to target you with frags, or if you see them about to throw one as you're running in one direction, get ready to cut back the other way to dodge it as they throw it. Number 7. Don't drop in crazy hot spots. Whilst I would encourage hot dropping as a good way to practice your fighting skills, it's not the best tactic if survival is your goal. To deal with hot drops successfully, you need to be confident in your ability to parachute down quickly, loot quickly, and fight with whatever you pick up first. And even then, you can just get unlucky with loot and be in a very tough situation right from the start. If you want to play sensibly and survive longer, stick to slightly quieter locations. They don't have to be crazily quiet, but find places that are likely to offer you a minute or two to loot before you have to engage the enemy. Number 8. Learn to check obvious spots for enemies. People often ask me how I managed to spot out enemies so well, and the trick is to know where to look in the first place. Learn the likely spots where enemies tend to show up and watch out for them. When I'm running around, my eyes are always flicking to the spots where enemies are likely to be. Someone running totally in the open will be easy to spot for anyone, but the people who are looking to shoot at you will often be on the edge of bits of cover, peeking over ridges, or looking through windows. Always scan the cover you can see and look for abnormalities. Trees, windows, rocks are all worth checking. The more you play, the better you will learn these locations. It's also worth noting that it's a lot easier to identify targets when your view is kept focused in one direction, rather than when you are scanning left and right. Use holding down the shoulder bumper in third person to hold the view in place, have a quick scan of your surroundings, and then rotate it to a new area you want to observe. This is much easier to spot people than looking for them whilst you're rotating the camera. Number 9. Use smoke grenades. Smoke grenades are much underused in PUBG and are a great way to keep yourself alive. When I was a new player, I never used to use them, but now I try and always carry at least 2 or 3 with me at all times. They can help keep you alive when looting enemy crates. You can use them to cover yourself whilst you retreat, whilst you move to new cover, or even whilst you push your opponents. Best of all, in the late game, they can give you cover when none is available. When you're in a top 5 situation and the circle pushes you off the last piece of hard cover on your side of the zone, having smoke grenades can win the game for you. Set yourself up a barrier, use it to take down your enemies, or allow you to move to a better strategic position to fight for the win. Number 10. Take advantage of moving whilst medding. Being able to move whilst you take meds is a fairly new feature in PUBG and is worth taking full advantage of. When you are medding during a fight, you can use this feature to keep yourself hidden from the enemy even if they are pushing you and changing angles. Even whilst you're medding and no longer in a fight, you can keep shuffling about, crouching up and down to make sure you're not offering up an easy shot to an opponent. You're a soft target whilst not on full health, so make sure you don't make it any easier for your enemies by sitting still. So those are my top 10 tips for staying alive in PUBG on console for new players. Hopefully you found it useful and can now try and apply some of that to your own gameplay. If you have any other tips geared around survival that you think will help other players, then please leave them in the comments below and upvote the ones you think are good pieces of advice. Thank you again to PUBG Corp for sponsoring this video. Please drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it and would like to see more PUBG tips from us. And don't forget, you can catch us live streaming PUBG Xbox One every weekday over on Twitch. So thank you very much for watching. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.